The Memphis Grizzlies just came off a 5-game losing streak. Despite being second in last year's Western Conference standings too, they ultimately lost to the third seed Warriors. The trade deadline is only 10 days away, so it's now or never for the Grizzlies if they want to make it farther than they ever have. The Grizzlies are starting to become complacent. Yes, they draft very successfully and have built up very successful rosters around their young core, but outside of their youth and energy, there's a massive discrepancy in identity.
A terrible slump that we haven't, been in, years. Dropping 5 games on the road. Obviously, that's not our identity. That's not like us. And
for the last few years, they had Kyle Anderson starting, who's nicknamed Slow-Mo, despite having one of the fastest point guards in the league in Ja, and one of the most mobile bigs in Jaren Jackson Jr. They already had a slow center in JV, but they went even slower now with Steven Adams. Being a young team should not be your identity, it's simply a characteristic. It's like having a roster full of many bigs and saying that's their identity. Identity should be defined by the way they play, their chemistry and coaching. But this identity crisis continues as their young core is very feisty, constantly fighting and arrogant. And while this might seem like a bad thing, it's actually vital to their success. Prior to this, Ja was not an all-star. People said he needs to be more aggressive, especially with his skills. Same with Jaren on the defensive end. They were playing passive and chill, like what they were doing was good enough because they're young. They were barely making the playoffs and play like they were biding their time for the older veteran star teams to decline with age for their time to come. This ultimately changed when the Grizzlies' young core started to gain confidence and go all in on their skills, questioning the Warriors' dynasty. And why can't it be them? Why can't they compete and be among the best teams even if they're young? Why wait? They're constantly communicating and seem like one of the closest teams in the league. Veterans like Danny Green and Steven Adams may seem good on paper to keep their young core level-headed, but it's actually a detriment to their identity. Their success came when they embraced their youth in chaos. They shouldn't be calmed down or held back. So let's look at some potential trades the Memphis Grizzlies can make right now to form a true identity. Olynyk, while seems like the lesser player than Steven Adams, is actually more scrappy and also a dirty player who plays hard. Adams is top 5 in rebounds, so a fall off there for Memphis, but benefits Jazz if they want to still try to make a playoff push. And it can also help mentor Walker Kessler to become an even better rebounder. Olynyk primarily played center this year on the surprising Jazz, so he could fit right in to replace Adams. Kelly Olynyk is faster than both of them and can help speed up their pace. He would fit this tough Memphis identity and go for loose balls with an edge. Olynyk also is good for offensive boards and arguably a better defender than Adams. He also shoots 40% from 3, so he could help Memphis with spacing, as well as complementing Jaren, who is also able to shoot. Adams is a liability on the 3 and especially on the free throw line. Olynyk plays the instigator and enforcer role perfectly. He's not a player that's liked but gets the job done. He plays meaningful and impactful playoff minutes even if the minutes are minimal. Olynyk, like Clarkson, can play clutch closing minutes and can be impactful. For Memphis to seriously contend deep in the playoffs, they need a center that can actually be on the floor. Kelly would provide better veteran presence to close games and wouldn't hold the Grizzlies' fighting attitude or calm them down. He would embrace the chaos with them. Memphis still has many draft picks too and have a frontcourt clog, so trading Zaire Williams or Brandon Clark, who many teams value and covet, makes sense as Grizzlies are still deep with Jaren. Santi Aldama has been a revelation who's played great minutes when Jaren was injured. Tillman has also played good minutes. Adams is borderline unplayable in closing time for his extremely poor free throw shooting, which is especially crucial in the playoffs, and he can't shoot threes. On the other hand, Olynyk has hit a game winner this season and is a great shooter who is crucial in clutch time.
And obviously, you got some attention the other night for the comments about Iguodala. Are you glad that there's at least there's finally a resolution to that?
Yeah, for sure. Now we have a player that we're getting that actually wants to play with us.
The Grizzlies want to upgrade. Will they call about Danny Green and a draft pick?
Danny Green, for the most part, hasn't even been with the team. He was working for ESPN for a while in the middle of the season while injured. I'm sure the team allowed this, but clearly he's not close to the team. He's not in their group poses or fights. He's not the veteran they need. Kelly would fit much better and has been around other young teams like Utah. Adams, outside of the Shannon Sharpe incident, is usually never involved in their scrappy behavior, usually just holding his own teammates back. He's not really an enforcer or instigator, but Olynyk would be. He got even calmer stars like KD ejected and gave many calm players technical fouls. They need to be unleashed with guys who play similar to them. Dillon Brooks has often been mentioned as a guy that needs to be traded, but regardless of his poor shot selection and shooting more than he should, he is a key component to their team off the court, but especially on the court, consistently defending the opponent's best players, locking them down even if he has to play dirty to get the wins.
End of the game with DB, getting a block shot for us to win the game.
Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja have supported him a lot, even praising his tenacity and vouching him for all defense. Brooks should not be traded and is pivotal to their young core. He's likely to make all defense this year and has helped stars to pour shooting consistently when he is a primary defender. He plays a role similar to another old Memphis legend, Tony Allen. For Utah, they have someone to better mentor Walker Kessler, as they are similar in stats and playstyle. Steven Adams has always been known as a good vet. Danny Green is another role model vet that would certainly help with three-point shooting and mentorship for their team. He fits more with their team personality, as Laurie is also calm. He could help them with an immediate three-point shooting boost, and they get their choice of a solid, promising young frontcourt wing in Clark or Williams, or both, and a draft pick. Memphis still has most of their draft picks, so they can still bundle up a lot of their second-round picks or first-round picks. It's also not too late for Utah to tank and collect draft picks, maybe even join the hunt for Victor. Colin Sexton is another perfect feisty player to complement the rough and tough Grizzlies. He also fits age-wise, as he's from the same draft class as Jaren Jackson Jr. It fixes the loss of Melton. Sexton or Clarkson could provide massive spark off the bench and tenacity that could elevate their second unit that's primarily around the calmer playstyle of Tyus Jones. They're too deep in their wings and front court, so trading some away would definitely help, especially when getting a fringe all-star type player in Sexton or Clarkson to round out the second unit identity. If the Jazz plans to make a playoff run, then Danny Green would really help. Utah has someone to build around. They clearly don't value Sexton as much as he comes off the bench and start Clarkson and Conley over him. Sexton can play a more meaningful role on a contender. His intensity will help tremendously, and he'll be extra motivated to play meaningful playoff minutes. I know Jordan Clarkson sounds ridiculous, and many teams don't want him even if he is a great scorer because of his ejections, technical fouls, and getting into fights, ironically, with another Grizzlies core member, Desmond Bane. But this is exactly what Memphis needs. Memphis has choked up and lost close games recently to both the Warriors and Lakers. This is expected for young teams to make mistakes like this, but if they're to be true contenders, they'll need clutch scorers, and with Clarkson available for trade offers, he would be a perfect fit to solve this gap. Many, including the players involved, believe the Malice in the Palace Indiana Pacers could have won an NBA championship had that not happened. This Memphis team is also similar, as they are rough, talented, and aggressive. They also have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Jaren Jackson Jr., similar to Ron Artest. They also have a shooter similar to Reggie Miller and Desmond Bane. Memphis could accomplish what Indiana couldn't due to one bad fight. Memphis needs to go all in with their young fighting attitude. They need to not.
Ducking, no smoke.
They need to go all in on it.